Hello, my name is Jane Hayward and I'm the mother of an 18-year-old boy called Charlie who has Down syndrome, autism and severe learning difficulties. Back in 2019, within the space of a week, I had 5 different letters from various bodies, all writing to tell me about cuts and closures to Andover, including cuts in staffing to his special needs school, closure of after-school clubs at Andover Mencap, cuts and now closures of clubs provided by disability challengers, cuts to transport to school for SEN, post-16s and proposed cuts to respite homes. To cut a long story short, a few other parents and I got together to form the group #NeedsToo. The name came from the women's campaign #MeToo. But women do have a voice and our children and adults don't, so we need to fight for them. Our strapline is a voice for the vulnerable, fighting for the rights and justice for children and adults with complex learning difficulties and disabilities. Cuts to clubs may not sound much to people that don't live alongside those with learning difficulties, but often the only access a child or adult with a learning difficulty to access the wider community and a social life is through clubs that are run by highly trained staff or with 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 carers. We've had meetings with children and adult services from Hampshire County Council and Test Valley councillors, as well as Kit Malthouse MP, to discuss all these cuts and the critical situation that these group of people are finding themselves in, to try and find a way forward. One of the best things we did last year to raise awareness was to take a float at the Andover Carnival, where we came second, and the NCS students helped decorate and helped with bucket collections. This year we were going to enter again and were chosen to be one of the 2 charities to receive the bucket collection from the whole carnival, so it's been very sad that the carnival was cancelled. With the money raised last year, we've been able to have a wonderful party at Christmas for these young adults and their parents and carers, a Valentine party, an outing to the pantomime, and afternoons bowling with burgers. We had much more planned, but due to the lockdown we haven't been able to do anything since February.
Drown a man. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me.
I'm here with Connor. We're just chilling after our walk, aren't we, Cons? Yes. Are we going to do some singing?
You may all feel that life has been tough over the lockdown and all that the COVID pandemic has brought. You have lost out on so much, unable to do all these things that you used to. You have probably felt isolated, but your isolation will maybe last a few months, whereas many people with learning difficulties, this isolation will last a lifetime.
My name is Sharon and I'm one of the parents who helps run NeedsToo. I have a son who is 19 years old and has severe learning difficulties, autism and some physical disabilities and challenging behaviour. My main difficulty with my son is managing his behaviour. With him being 19, I'm not managing a little boy anymore. I'm actually managing an adult and somebody who is taller than myself. When he is having one of his outbursts, he is very aggressive towards myself and my family within the home. So to protect my family, I have to take him out for long drives. Sometimes the journey can be 150 to 200 miles up and down the motorway, hoping I don't have to stop for a toilet break. Other times he can grab my clothes and rip them, or give me one of his special hugs, which is basically a headlock. At home we live behind stable doors with locks, so should there be an outburst, a quick exit and a bolt can keep other family members safe. This extreme behaviour isn't every day, but we do have pinching, kicking and non-compliant behaviour most days. I've noticed Marcus within the home going off to his playroom, sitting with his hands covering his face as if crying, because he's basically so fed up of not being able to go back to his clubs and see his friends. All the clubs in my area serve children of the age of 18 years old. Ideally, Needs To would like to run clubs for 18 to 25-year-olds. We are desperate to get some things up and running for these young adults before it's too late. Isolation from their friends is a slippery slope. We have all had a taste of it with the coronavirus. Imagine it for a lifetime for someone who doesn't understand why they have had to sit at home all the time or be chaperoned everywhere by mum and dad. Myself and 4 other members of the Needs To want to keep these young people connected with the community and their friends. We need funding to be able to keep giving these young adults opportunities and bring some fun back into their lives. Heaven knows they struggle enough already. My other 2 children have struggled with the way we live. Each in turn, through childhood, have had to have counselling as they have tried to come to terms with how their lives have been so different from that of their friends. Not being able to have friends home because they thought my son's behaviours would escalate. It certainly hasn't been easy for them either. It is paramount that these young people who are not able to communicate have a voice that's basically heard. That's why I've involved myself with Needs To, because we sit and listen and we support parents and their loved ones, and we won't give up campaigning for these lovely young people because they have no voice. I also decided to work with the Needs To because I didn't want to see other parents hit a brick wall, but sadly what I found out is that so many have already hit that brick wall. What saddens me most is knowing that Marcus, my son, will never have a wife. He will never father a child, and for his whole life he is going to be chaperoned and supported by other people, and we can only pray that he will always be supported by someone who's caring enough like his family are to him. He will never know freedom that you and I take for granted. We at Needs To just want to make things better and to raise awareness and campaign for what's right and keep these young adults from being forgotten and excluded from accessing society.
You oh Deba is playing up the Deba that's the name that you